But what's weird is like you said, you if I don't know what the hell you said, but like if I could be an accountant right now,
Yeah.
I'd be miserable. But like I've had jobs and I wasn't that miserable.
Like
Like
what?
I've had jobs where I was working like 8 hours a shift. Like I was stocking shelves. Um, but it wasn't. And then I'd come home and I'd practice for like 4 or 5 hours with my team. But I wasn't. Maybe at the time, maybe I did kind of fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But like looking back at it, like I sort of, because when I went to my job, like everyone I worked with, I was pretty much friends with. My manager, I was friends with. So maybe I just had a good job. But like I've had multiple jobs, and it's like, yeah, you hate going to it. But when you're actually there, it's not as bad as you think, because as I got older, or when you find times in your life where you don't have shit to do and you just feel super lonely, those are the real worst times, rather than
The
having
tests.
rather than having like a job that you go to, and at least it puts like some structure in your life,
Yeah.
rather than just not knowing or not really wanting to do shit
Yeah.
or having shit to do. That's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you don't know anything else but the things that you're doing, I guess there really isn't anything that there is to do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it just is. It just happens to be that
Yeah.
way. It's fascinating to me the amount of people that I've come into contact with because of the internet and all that. Because nowadays you hear, and it's good. It's a good thing, obviously. Identifying that somebody sort of is different in some sort of way, whether it's emotional, mental, or whatever. Where back in the day, like nobody had like that thing. Like nobody. I feel like in the past, like nobody was allowed to be sad.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about this the other day, but like back in the day before the internet and stuff, were people, when there wasn't internet and it was just the people you knew were like the neighbors or stuff like that. Like every day they'd wake up, they knew there was work to be done in the farm or whatever the hell they did back then. Like were they happier than people today?
Yeah,
I think they were,
yeah, of course.
because it was way more simple.
Yeah.
You don't see people on Instagram and Twitter doing all this stuff.
Dope shit.
Like I'm not gonna lie, it fucks with me when I see like I'm happy for Hitch's stream popping off, everything he's doing, but then it like kind of makes you feel like shit. Like, man, like I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
And like but you see that all the time on like social media, like Instagram. You see people traveling, doing
Yeah.
all this dope stuff. Nate Shots, like Drake's investing in his company, and it's like, God, that shit's so dope. And then it kind of makes you feel shitty about yourself.
Is it though, or is it inspiration?
It
A little bit of both.
I think a little bit of both. It depends on the person, and like sometimes I will get inspired by that. Sometimes, but other times it'll make you feel shitty. But yeah, I don't know.
That's
But back in the day, they didn't see
No,
that. They just
they
got
didn't. They
got
just-
the job
they were-
done.
they
and
just
then
were.
They just yeah.
if I can go, I mean, obviously, like I grew up in the 80s, right? 90s. So back then there was no way of seeing like in Juarez, Mexico, you just saw, if you were in your neighborhood, that's all you knew.
Yeah.
Somebody got on a bus, they went to work, and somebody got off on the bus right in front of your house, and that was that. That was my dad's job. And that's all you knew. All you know is that. So until somebody shows you, like imagine if we got the window to a world in which, there's no fossil fuels being used, there's no like bad shit happening because they found the secret of why people were violent. Like, and you get a window like that, then you're gonna feel shitty about yourself because you get to see what you don't know. Doesn't innocence is bliss, as they say.
Sure.
Right? So when you don't get to have the opportunity to say, wait,
Innocence
what
or ignorance?
ignorance? What did I say? Innocence?
You said innocence.
Innocence is also bliss, but yes, ignorance is bliss.
You said innocence, But I was like, I think it's ignorance, but
is
in
ignorance.
a sense, kind of
Is
makes
bliss.
sense
Yeah,
too.
yeah. No, they both are. So I wasn't wrong. But yes, ignorance is bliss. Like
Yes.
what you don't know.
Very much so.
Yeah, and I get it. Like while I've been sitting on the bench for the last like it didn't anger me and it didn't get me sad. I don't know what sort of feelings I had because again, I never grew up in a place where I was allowed to be sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had there's no choice to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like majority of the people in the world just go about their lives living without options, like without knowing that they have an option to be sad or an option to be angry or an option to feel.
I've been watching a lot of, for some reason, food truck like shows where like these people that live in like New York City, they're just making like say like a Mexican food truck, like they're showing up, they're working 8 to 12 hours a day, like they have to do their own grocery shopping for the truck, everything, and they like are happy about it. They're like, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years, gonna do it till I die, and like they're happy about it. And then there's people like me or people like y'all that are here listening, watching. You're like unhappy, but you have, well, I'm not saying I'm unhappy, but you have so much freedom to do whatever. But it's like it's almost like too much freedom. And it's like, how are these people that are forced to do this sort of like hard work every single day happier than someone who kind of gets to pick and choose what they do? And I don't know, it's just